Smart 24, driving business.
We'll be back from the break, and many thanks for watching us. We're coming to you live from JINJA City, and that is our current location today. It's Monday. It's a very cold one in JINJA, very cold. It started raining at as early as 4:35 a.m. in the morning here in JINJA, and of course most of the businesses are just opening up. Some people are just leaving their homes. If you look at the business time here in JINJA and how the business is actually moving about. Well, besides that particular situation, just to quickly remind you that the markets on the Zabo platform have already opened. 8:15 a.m. they were already opened, and so it is very ideal for you to actually kickstart off your investment journey. Dial *292# and follow the prompts, and of course you will be able to invest in government bonds and securities. Zabo is a platform by Altex East Africa that says do something new, and Zabo says my money, my future. So the government bonds will definitely be there for you. With a minimum of 15,000 Ugandan shillings, you'll be able to invest in bonds and securities. Do remember these markets close at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. They only remain closed during public holidays and during the weekends. Of course, today is Monday, so they are opened, and you can quickly start your investment journey as fast as you can. Well, of course, now it is time for us to look at what is making headlines from the world of sports business this particular morning. And of course, over the weekend, the biggest talk around town for the entire week is going to be rotating around the World Cup that did end yesterday night. And that particular one did see Argentina emerge victorious against France. Of course, this entire week will be preparation for the other leagues to reopen. The English Premier League will be returning this very weekend that is coming up, the festive season weekend. Boxing Day, to be more precise, is when the matches do return. But looking back to the World Cup matches that did transpire over the weekend, on Saturday, as we can see, on Saturday, Morocco and Croatia went on to play for the third and fourth playoff. That particular match did end in favor of Croatia, who won by 2-1. And of course, just to quickly take you back to the Argentina match, whereby Argentina did win the World Cup yesterday. That entirely means that the entire bracket of the World Cup was put to an end. Argentina walked out with 42 million US dollars. That's 42 million US dollars. That is the cash prize. As of tomorrow, we shall be breaking down for you all the entire money that was spent, that is from the group stages, briefly for you to understand which team walked away with which team, with which money. But as of yesterday, after the 3-3 draw and winning on penalties by 4-2, Argentina went on to bank 42 million US dollars. Not only that, now of course France on the other hand, as the runners-up, walked away with 38 million US dollars, and that means they did not only lose the final, but at least they did lose as a champion. They were the defending champion, and of course they did walk away with some good money in their pocket. So that is France for you, who were the defending champions. Argentina, led by Lionel Messi, were able to win that particular World Cup. What an entertaining World Cup that particular one was. And of course, if you could imagine yourself getting in touch with that particular World Cup, there was lots of drama. Of course, Qatar putting in place the World Cup did spend close to 300 million US dollars. That's some good money in there, 300 billion US dollars rather, in that particular situation, just to host the World Cup. So it is not something that you would definitely look at and think about how the World Cup would be without Qatar. That is like over double the amount. So when you look at an amount of that is close to 200 billion US dollars. That is tripling and doubling the entire amount that was used for the previous World Cups. So that is exactly why the World Cup is one of the most watched games in here. And of course, clearly giving you room to understand that the world that we are living in currently is a world that is filled up with a lot of competition. And so the World Cup coming to an end in Qatar, 8 stadiums were put in place, and out of which there was a stadium that was built with containers. That particular one was dismantled after the round of last 16 matches, and of course taken onto the ship. It will be heading to Uruguay apparently. So because Qatar did say that after the World Cup they will be donating that particular World Cup stadium to any country that bids for it, and it will be heading to Uruguay in there. So Qatar splashing in the money and of course giving us one of the greatest World Cups you will ever see. 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Not only the money that was splashed, but also steadily looking at the fact that it was one that was eye-catching and breathtaking as well. Where was your money at in regards to the betting situation? On which team were you staking to win the World Cup? So the entire full month of non-stop World Cup football comes to an end, and of course Qatar saying goodbye to all the football fans who traded their way into Qatar and the different stadiums in Qatar to support their respective nations in regards to the World Cup. So the prize pool was $42 million, besides the fact that there was a golden trophy to be won, as well as the other golden awards, which included the which included the player of the tournament, the MVP, who was Lionel Messi. The golden boot leader was Kylian Mbappe after that hat-trick in the final, becoming the second player to ever score a hat-trick in a World Cup final, following the first one that came in the 1966 World Cup final for England. Now, not only that, also on the other hand, you get to realize that Argentina also walked out with the Golden Glove Award for Emi Martinez. So it was all gold and glitters in Qatar yesterday at the Lusail Stadium in Doha. So that is it all for the World Cup, and of course bringing us to the end of sports business. But like I said, this entire week is going to be a preparation for the Premier League to return onto the screens of the viewers. Boxing Day 26 is when the Premier League will be returning, and of course more competition coming in there, and more money is highly expected to be spent in there. But also briefly, before I sign into the entertainment news this morning, you get to as well realize that Chelsea, apparently, according to Fabrizio Romano, signed Christopher Nkunku. And of course, Christopher Nkunku is currently a player with RB Leipzig. So he will be joining Chelsea in the summer of next year. He missed out to play in the World Cup this very year due to injury, which he got during the preparation for the World Cup while in camp in Qatar. So he did make the final list of the 25 for France. But apparently now he's going to be a Chelsea player once the window opens. So in summer of 2023, he will be officially unveiled as a Chelsea player from RB, that is RB Leipzig in the German Bundesliga. Big signing for Chelsea, and of course a big move for Christopher Nkunku into the English Premier League. So that's it for Sports Business this morning. We're coming to you live from JINJA's Sea Sand Suits here in the heart of JINJA. And of course, for the people in JINJA, we are in your hometown. And apparently now we cross over to Barija Andrew, who is yet to give us more of what is coming in from the world of entertainment. Barija Andrew, what do you have for us this morning?
Well, entertainment, quite lots of events are being transparent, very interesting. Some are quite very, very surprising in regarding to what really the outcomes were. And looking at the business and entertainment this week, we shall of course start with Kenya, as we shall look at the Nairobi Festival that concluded. That was on December 16th. That was on Friday. And of course, quite lots of matters transferred right there regarding business. And of course, away from that, we shall head to the AMC Visa card. And of course, it's going to be this which will be used in the different theaters, whereby if you actually use this to purchase, there are quite lots of benefits that you obtain from that. Something which I believe is quite a great business idea from the AMC movie theater. And you will pick a leaf from that. Okay, now we officially start the business and entertainment as we start with the Nairobi Festival. And of course, this just ended on Friday, that's 16th, with quite lots of artists that were really transpiring right there. And it was very essential in promoting the cultural life and changing the way the Kenyans perceive their cultures. And of course, this in a way would help them do business from those particular cultures. Now, looking at this, we see that the inaugural Nairobi Street Festival kicked off. That was on Monday last week, 2022. That's for December 2022 at the renovated Uhuru Park. That's in Nairobi Central Business. And of course, the Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja officially launched the festival. And of course, the 6th-day festival on Monday. We're talking about last week. The Nairobi Governor said the inaugural festival will provide opportunity for Kenyans to appreciate the city's diverse food culture, music and art, and quite lots of people were showcasing their talents in that regard. And the money which was collected from this festival was used for social corporate responsibilities like giving back to the community, charity, and so many other aspects. And in a way, it also promoted the tourism, of course, since it was in Uhuru Park and it's been closed for quite a while. And this time around, people got a chance to actually get back. When you put something entertaining to the people right there, they're willing to really come and show it and, participate into it. And in the process of participation, they're going to find out participating or supporting other business ventures that are surrounding by there, but all starting with the entertainment bit of it. Now, looking still here, we see that several musicians, including King Kaka, Joe Kali, Heart the Band, among others, were set to perform on the 6th-day event. And we see that at least 50 Nairobi best artists lined up the Grace Festival, of course, radio personalities, quite so many. I may not go into the details of that. Let's really focus onto the business side of this particular event that took place, that ended last week on Friday. Still, we see here, tickets for Nairobi Festival were going for 100 Kenyan shillings. That's per adult, and 50 Kenyan shillings for the children. Right there, so you get to see, and of course this was a contribution supporting that towards the vulnerable in Nairobi. Something very, very remarkable for such events. This is what we call the corporate social responsibility on the side of the business. Remember, one thing I'll say is that quite so many people, despite the fact that they get so attached to the entertainment and looking at the different entertainers, it's always wise for those people that are participating into this industry to give back to this community. Remember, these are the people that have made you who you are. They may not have given you the money per se, but the fact that they gave you the praises, they gave you the hype, and it pushed you where you are. You became a star because of these people. So it's very important that you really think about them. You don't entirely forget about them. So when you get your success, you share back to them. So I was very happy with the Nairobi Festival. This was quite very remarkable, giving back to these people. And there is no way these people will fail to support you in the long run. So you get to see that you will be in position to actually make much more money off your craft in the longer run. Okay, now still looking at, at the festival, we see that Kenyans have been trooping Uhuru Park since Monday when the Nairobi Festival was officially launched. The Nairobi Street Festival is aimed at empowering young talents and for economic growth in the city. See that? Very important. Of course, we empower the talent, you empower the economy. Yes, that is quite unfortunate in our region, like Uganda. We don't really pay much attention to these arts and talents, but we should really get to understand the ability they have to transform our economy. We've seen economies that have really transferred really greatly out of this aspect, and we saw that the times when the COVID-19 shattered the entertainment industry, some economies were affected as a result of that. Okay, looking at this, we see that the event objective was to celebrate Nairobi as a creative hub. That's while at the same time identifying, developing local content and talent at the same time. Developing the local talent for economic purposes. Now, still about this particular festival, we see that the festival was going on at Uhuru Central Park, which had been closed since November 2021 when the renovations were made by the now defunct Nairobi Metropolitan Service, or what we call the NMS, in that particular aspect. And the members of parliament had allocated 1 billion Kenyan shillings for the renovations to really take place right there. So Nairobi Nairobi Festival, and understanding how, promoting these talents. And Uganda, we also been trying to actually pursue these kinds of lines with quite different competitions being put there, of course, aim to help the youth. But the only challenge I have here is that, and of course I'm going to give real life examples, though I may not mention names as per se when it comes to Uganda, but I'll give you a clear example. Kenya always has, the way they put up the policies regarding this art industry. If you're all familiar with the rapper called Dr. Pizzo, you must be really well familiar. There was a contest where he actually won this contest. And from that day, his entire career changed. His business, the career in terms of business earning from his music changed. And I remember the person who was judging that contest was Keiko, and of course, currently in Canada. Well, but you get to understand, it didn't end on the competition, but it transferred further. And his career, till today, Dr. Pizzo is what he is because of that event. He has money. He's making money from his music. But it did just another event. It opened opportunities for him. But in Uganda, the challenge we have is that when these initiatives are put in place, the winners always end there. We don't look after the competition. They're nowhere to be seen. And some end up being frustrated on their careers, suffering, financially struggling, financially, yet they have in them a talent which can really make billions and billions of money. So I guess I just use that live example. I won't mention names for Uganda's case, but for Kenya's case, I gave you an example of Dr. Pizzo, a real life scenario regarding that. Okay, now away from Kenya, from the business and entertainment, we wind up this report as, of course, we head to Hollywood. And I'm talking about the theater known as AMC. It's been making quite a lot of headlines in the past 2 weeks. And definitely, I love the creativity that they are putting across to ensure that they can really catch up the ongoing depression which is affecting the movie industry. And they're really not willing to just lose it all just like that. Now, this is interesting. AMC Theaters hopes its next gold mine is a credit card. Now ask yourself, where is the gold in this? That's where I'm heading. The exhibitor will launch a credit card in the early 2023, and in its latest attempt to diversify revenue and reach out to retail investors. When I talk about AMC, definitely, I know majority of you got to know AMC because of The Walking Dead. Of course, if you're at my age, we used to watch quite a lot of series from AMC. Probably the new age, you came with The Walking Dead, which I also love personally because it also made a push the mileage of this theater quite a very big way. You remember that movie called Into the Badlands? Yes, still AMC way back. That's an old school. If you're only my age, you will know that. Anyway, let's get back to business here. Now, still looking at this, we see that AMC Theaters has found its next investment to appease its retail investors. The movie theater chain is set to launch an AMC Entertainment Visa card in early 2023, and of course in partnership with Visa and Deserve. This is a digital credit card platform. Of course, the credit card holders will be able to earn additional AMC, of course, tabs rewards points when making purchases at the theater. Well, isn't that interesting? If you make purchases using that particular card at the AMC theaters, definitely there are some additional stabs that you will get. And of course, as well as purchases outside the theater chain, the card is only available at AMC stabs as stabs members. Well, demand for the new credit card is expected to be high, and so much that AMC is offering those who sign up the wait list, the ultimate price. That's for some. And of course, a chance meeting the AMC chairman, CEO, Adam Aaron. Who wouldn't like to meet Adam Aaron? Very strategic business. Of course, who has been the rallying force for the retail investors who saved the company from bankruptcy by turning AMC into a meme stock. Interesting. Members of who are on the wait list who apply for a card will be entered into, of course, the sweepstakes to attend the red carpet movie premiere with Aaron, that's the CEO, regarding that. Now, in a statement made by the CEO, he said that until now, the theatrical exhibition industry is one of the few untapped major retail sectors that hasn't offered consumers the opportunity to amplify their purchase power. And amplify their purchase power, then also the aspect of accelerate their rewards and demonstrate their loyalty. That's through the use of co-branded credit card. That's the CEO made that statement. And with a built-in customer base of tens of millions of existing AMC that's members, we know there is avid moviegoers who will benefit greatly by using their AMC Entertainment Visa card at the movies, and of course for their everyday purchases. Not only in the movies that they will be making these purchases, but also their daily life purchases. There is also another extremely important constituency for whom we care greatly and who will find the AMC Entertainment Visa card to be a very compelling appeal. AMC's millions of enthusiastic and passionate shareholders made this statement. Of course, this new AMC Entertainment Visa card was suddenly designed with them in the mind. You know, getting to see that there are different stakeholders, and quite very more of that has really going on AMC. So you go to AMC theaters, you purchase something. Of course, there are benefits that you get as a result of that. And we see that there are anticipations that this card will be really on high demand. And, you know, this all comes at a point where the movie industry is as a way of promoting the theatrical window. Of course, the resumption of the theatrical window, which had totally really died out completely, and now coming back with quite so many perspectives. Remember, AMC has about 10.7 million subscribers. You know, when we're talking about the streaming platform. And actually, a few weeks back, if I'm not mistaken, a week ago, the AMC laid off workers. It was one of the companies that laid off, the entertainment companies that laid off their staff. And they thought that streaming would offset their losses, but it didn't go like the way they expected. So they ended up really chopping off some workers. But now they still have to sit back on the drawing board. You know, on top of that, the CEO resigned at that time. This is the new interim CEO. That's Aaron Cole, who's really currently standing in. But you know, it was really quite a great turmoil for them such a time. And probably we thought that they're not going to return back to what they are doing lately. So you get to realize creativity. The different directors are really sitting down. And this also teaches you as an entrepreneur. You have to really always think about solutions, innovative solutions. Let the solutions you think about really be problem solving. It's exactly 55 minutes past the hour of 8 a.m. And this particular time we've come to the end of the entertainment news and business and sports at the same time. And we are going to get into a short commercial break. We shall be returning with the business insight and definitely wind up the hour with the SMB on ground. Stick around. Good morning.